Not gonna crack a smile. Yeah.
Good morning, graduates, families, and friends. What a glorious day this is. And the sun's coming out. Can't beat that. I want to start today's commencement with gratitude. I want to express my gratitude to the community members who donated their time and their efforts to set all this up. I want to thank the community members who provided us with beautiful music to start our day. I want to express my gratitude for every parent. Can you hear me? Mike? Thank you for your patience. Can you hear me now? I don't have to start over, do I? So I want to express My gratitude for all the behind-the-scenes people, all these wonderful folks back here, the staff, who have done so much to help these students move forward to today. And I'm also grateful to all the families and seniors before you become footloose today. I want to tell you how grateful I am for having you in my life for the last year. You have been just totally made everyone's life this year so much better. And I want to thank you for making Rochester School in Rochester a better place. By your presence, by your positive attitude, you've really made a difference, and we will all miss you. Today's about you and your accomplishments. You're gathered here in this beautiful place to celebrate your educational achievement as you transition from high school to the real world. Throughout your years here, you've experienced all kinds of weather. In fact, in the last 24 hours, we've experienced all kinds of weather. We've had our sunny days, and we've had our rainy days, like we had the last 24 hours. Can you hear me okay? We've had stormy and cloudy experiences with losses and tears and cold field trips and games in the rain. And like this winter, we had lots of snowy days when it seemed like the sun was never going to come out again. And of course it did. Then it went back in again. Then it came out again. Then it went back in again. I think there's a song that talks about that. The one thing that we all know is that in Vermont, the weather changes. But so does life. It constantly changes. So you've all learned from your science teachers and your teachers over here that for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And those reactions are your choices. Those choices are like ripples in a lake that have far-reaching effects. What's key to those reactions is your attitude. I challenge you to be like a willow tree, flexible, so that when the wind blows, and believe me, it will, you won't break. Remember that you have deep, strong roots right here in Rochester. Family and community who support you every moment of every day. You've got nurturing caretakers, i.e. your parents and support members, who won't hesitate to prune you if necessary, and to do whatever you can to continue your strong tree of knowledge. You need to treasure each new experience as a moment that will grow into its own beautiful tree. Each of you has made our world more beautiful. And I challenge each of you to continue to respect yourself by staying balanced and continue on the path of learning while being a responsible citizen and making the change that you want to see. In closing, I'd like to quote lyrics from our recent Barefoot Tree concert. Will, Jay, and of course your family and community members here at Rochester wish you 2 cups of whatever makes you happy, good energy from up above, a spoonful of patience, a whole lot of humility, and you need to mix it up with all of your love. We will always be here for you, supporting you with lots of high hopes, watching you react to those changes in the weather, and want you to reach for the stars. Be happy, be healthy, and remember to roll if you fall. Thank you and good luck.
Victorian is a girl who loves her family and her friends. A girl who gives her best effort, whether in her classes, or a beauty pageant, or on the soccer or softball fields. She's a well-rounded person who will have much success in her adventures at Castleton State College. It is my pleasure, my honor, to introduce our class of 2014's salutatorian, Jessica Chase. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jessica Chase, and I'm this year's salutatorian. Before I begin, I would like to welcome all friends, family, and distinguished guests. I would also like to thank our family members and teachers because we wouldn't be here today without their love and support. So on behalf of the Rochester class of 2014, thank you. As I started writing my speech, I got stuck a few times. I kept thinking,
How can I give advice to a class of such unique students with such different goals and ambitions? I want my speech to be something different, not the cliche speech that thousands of other students will be hearing at their own graduation. How can I sum up a 13-year life experience in one speech? We've gone through so much together. I've gotten to know and love my class. Maybe I know them a little too much sometimes. We went from being the bad class in middle school to the good class, the class that everyone will miss. We were even known as the 8th grade. On our senior trip, our class advisor, Kelly, even said, "Of course I got the good class. I waited up until 2 in the morning waiting for them to sneak out, and they never even tried." This is partly because of growing up in a small school. We have gotten to know our teachers, and they have gotten to know us so well. One day in English class this year, Jen assigned a writing prompt where we had to write a story made up of only song lyrics. This assignment inspired me to include lyrics in my speech today. Like I said, I wanted this to be different from most. I took 1 or 2 lines from 20 or so different songs and put them together. I cut them out in strips and rearranged them on the floor until I liked the way it sounded. This is what I came up with. We were only freshmen. We were wannabe rebels that didn't have a clue. Knew it all already, there was nothing to learn. I've been waiting for a lifetime for this moment to come. I'm destined for anything at all. Daddy shakes his head and says, "Baby, just slow down. Hold on to 16 as long as you can. Changes come around real soon, make us women and men." Growing up too fast, and I do recall, wishing time would stop right in its tracks. So scared of getting older, I'm only good at being young. But these are my people, and this is where I come from. You're giving this life everything we've got and then some. These are my streets, the only life I've ever known. When we leave this year, we won't be coming back. No more hanging out, because we're on a different track. 18 years have come and gone. We don't even have pictures, just memories to hold. Grow sweeter each season as we slowly grow old. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter where you go. If it's a million miles away or just a mile up the road. Pretty soon now, you're going to get older. Time may change me, but I can't trace time. You're going to miss this. You're going to want this back. You're going to wish these days had it gone by so fast. The good times that made us laugh outweigh the bad. My wish for you is that this life becomes all that you want it to. May you build a ladder to the stars and climb on every rung. I hope you never look back, but you never forget all the ones who love you and the place you left. These are the best days of our lives, and may you stay forever young. Just one more thing before you leave, don't forget to remember me. I've had the time of my life, and I owe it all to you. Thank you.
State College and its future endeavors. Congratulations, Dean Parrish.
Thank you, Mrs. Stubbins. Principal Knight, Rochester School, teachers, Superintendent Jassett, my fellow classmates past and present, support staff, and the Rochester School Board. I thank you for allowing me the privilege to stand here today and address you, and especially our amazing community. After many invitations to leave Rochester over the past few years, it was because of the people who are standing here today that I decided to stay and enjoy the love and support you all gave me every day. That support took many shapes. From Christy Fuller, opening the gym for me at 5:30 a.m. To Mr. Brett Schneider, taking extra effort to help me understand the content he's teaching. To my neighbor, Sue Llewellyn, random visits always started with, knock, knock, your nosy neighbor is here. Too late, she's already in. To my grandparents, Stan and Nance, and Jim Dave, who went to almost every single one of my basketball games. I have already lived a dream childhood, surrounded figuratively by you, and in fact, literally here today. While I've so very much appreciated the applause you all have given me, I applaud you for collectively creating the best and most wonderful place to grow up in the world. I'm just as excited and just as scared to be standing here in front of you as I am humbled at the opportunity to do so. I also feel really lucky that I get to tell you a few things about me that you may not know. You see, everywhere I go, everything I read about me over the past 5 years has been about numbers. And that's okay. I loved it. I hear it everywhere I go around this beautiful state. It's been an incredible run. Today, though, my classmates and I, we're all starting at 0. We're all about to start over. Ask any one of them, and in a very honest moment, they'll tell you that. Just like me, we're scared, we're thrilled, and we wonder where our choices will lead us. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I'd like to roll back the videotape and share with you a few things I've learned in my short but eventful life. I'd like to share with you a few things that I'm downright in awe of. Finally, I'd like to tell you about my classmates and others who have helped me along the way. So things I've learned. I've learned that negativity is destructive and that positivity is both instructive and productive. In fact, I've come to believe that when people come across other people who are primarily negative, my advice, run. Just run. People who do great things aren't like everybody else. They don't work to be like everybody else. People will say about people who do great things that their talent is a gift. Their talent is not a gift. Their dedication, their example, their courage, and their determination, those are the real gifts. Everything else just follows all of those attributes. Speaking of gifts, I've learned firsthand about the powers of adoption. Adoption is a gift of possibly the highest power. Talk about paying it forward. My mother handed over possibly the cutest little baby to my parents 18 years ago. What has followed are lives for them and for me and my brother and sister that you simply can't make up. Another thing I've learned is that people find it really difficult to accept things they have not seen before. Seems only natural, really. Except there are examples all around us that make us stay open to the possibilities, and we surely learned from Jackie Robinson, who forever changed the sport of baseball and its racial barriers with his amazing skills. Steve Jobs, he created a credit card-sized tool that can hold thousands of songs. Barack Obama, a black man who became president of the most powerful country in the world. There are many more examples around us. While I've learned so many other things, one I'd like to share with you today has to do with starting over. As I've said, after all the media attention, after ceremonies like today, we start over. The first time I realized this was when my core group of friends all up and moved out of Rochester. They went from places as far away as Bethel and as distant as New Zealand. New Zealand. I had to start over. Then my favorite dog, Scout, passed away at about the same time. I had to start over again with Ginger. I mention these events because they have a way of either sending us under the radar or they serve as opportunities that make us stronger. Finally, I've learned about the power of team victory versus individual accomplishment. No accomplishment, 1,000, 2,000, or the state scoring record gave me more satisfaction than being part of the team that brought back to Rochester the 2013 Division IV State Championship trophy. This is what I work for. Those points and those rebounds and those assists were nothing more than my contribution to my team. Nothing more. Basketball just isn't life, and life just can't be basketball. Life, as we all know, simply won't allow that. I want to share with you some aspects of life that I'm simply in awe of. Skills that amaze me every day. Because while I've become known as one single thing, a basketball player, I, like my classmates, bring more to the world than just one single dimension. The artist who draws and paints realistic portraits of people and natural beauty. How do they do that? Technology and its many promises. I'm thrilled to live in a time when technology allows people to connect. How do they do that? A piano player. When I see a piano player play what she's thinking, not thinking what she's playing. The piano as an extension of her musical mind. I'm in awe and without words to express how much I appreciate that kind of thing in the music that results. I share these things I've learned and the things I'm in awe of to ask you guys to be careful in defining a person as having one single dimension. We are all a product of the people around us. My class and my community here are no exception. Each of them brings something wonderful to me and to you guys. Like Travis. You've taught me so many things. Most importantly, it does not matter the situation. There's always an opportunity to do the right thing. Ari, your artwork is inspirational. Every time I see your work, I want to create my own. And I just can't even color inside the lines. So. You bring an appreciation of art to my life. Trevor, You don't leave your emotions to others' interpretation. You act exactly how you feel. You taught me to share my emotions. Shania, you and I, we've argued many times over the past few years. You're the one that always comes in the next day, okay. You taught me to not hold grudges. Eric, you sitting here today is a great example of the power of passion and determination. Your decision to graduate a year ahead of schedule, despite the heaping and piling of work presented to you, to join the United States Coast Guard is truly inspirational. Jessica, during one of our many life talks, you flat out told me that everybody is weird in their own way. Even though you and we joked about the corniness of that, it's true. Everybody is weird in their own way. And we need to embrace that. Devin, like Trevor, you say what's on your mind, but you're a very, very hard worker. And the world needs more people like you. Miss Kenyon, you cared for me at a young age as my babysitter. But you also taught me boundaries as my teacher. Ben, his humor will serve him well in this world. And so will his kindness. He's not here today, but he and I both know he still owes me that dirt bike ride he promised me the other day. Aaron, it has been said that one of the most important characteristics of a personality is predictability. You bring that every day with your smile and your cheese stick and Mountain Dew you've brought every day since the beginning of high school. Earl Kingsbury, you are more than just my varsity basketball coach. You were a mentor and an example to me for much of my life. Derek, I'm not fooled by your size and your stature, but instead impressed that you're really a sensitive soul. And the world needs more people like you. My brother PJ found his passion on the mountains. And my sister Phoebe is probably more well-rounded than the both of us combined. They taught me how to put aside my own personal mood for the betterment of our household when I go to Castleton in the fall. Thank you. Jay Benson. What I love about Jay is he has the guts and courage to chase his dream of golf course management to a state that has exactly 10 more months of summer than Stockbridge, Vermont. He plans on moving to Florida. Mark Waite, I learned from your daily, how you doing, bub? That your question wasn't empty. You actually cared about the answer. To close, I'd like to say to my mom and dad, you guys gave me everything but birth itself. Things I've shared with you today were made possible by you guys. I talked earlier about things that fascinate me. Your story fascinates me. Ladies and gentlemen, if I were to tweet one line to my followers right now about this very moment, it would read, I'm still at the podium, hashtag almost graduating. If I were to send a text message to one person right now, it would be to my dad. And it would probably say something like, no, Dad, The pile of wood behind the house is not being stacked right now. Had you seen my tweet, you'd know I'm still up here at the podium. Finally, if I were to post a picture on Facebook and Instagram, it would probably look something like this. All right. And it would probably say, the caption, "It has been an honor to be raised in Rochester, to be standing here as part of the class of 2014. Hashtag starting at 0. Hashtag thank you Rochester." Post. Thank you. For many years, Miss Joan Java Hubbard has administered the Freeman's Oath to graduating seniors. But she's been a part of Rochester for many more. Mrs. Java Hubbard will administer the Freeman's Oath to all 18-year-old graduating seniors.
If you are 18 or older and wish to take the Freeman's Oath and haven't already done so, please stand. You solemnly swear or affirm that whenever you give your vote or suffrage touching any matter that concerns the state of Vermont, you will do so as in your conscience you shall judge will most conduce to the best good of the same as established by the Constitution, without fear or favor of any person. Say, I will. You may go to the town clerks at your convenience to obtain a registration form. Congratulations.
Good morning. Yep. As we all know, last winter, our boys varsity basketball team came up one game short of their ultimate goal, and that was to be repeat state champions. However, at that semifinal game, a historic event took place. Haven Parish broke the all-time scoring record in the state of Vermont, which had been held for 31 years by Henry Dalrymple of St. Tonsberry. In honoring this historic event, the school has created a plaque to recognize his milestone achievement, which will be hung in the gym with pride for all eternity. David, would you come up here, please? And you all can come and see this plaque next winter at our home games. But basically, it gives his career stats, a picture of him in triple threat, the basket that broke the all-time record, and then a state championship trophy as well. And down on the bottom there's career highlights. Broke the all-time Vermont scoring record with 2,479 points. The 2014 Gatorade Player of the Year. 2013-14 Burlington Free Press Mr. Basketball. Tied for most combined points in 2 games at the Berry Auditorium with 74 points. And tied for second with 45 points in 1 game at the Berry Auditorium. I also have the honor of presenting 2 other awards today. The Damian Sleeth Award The award is given to the varsity athlete whose maturity and dedication to team, family, and friends is an inspiration to others. The 2014 recipient, David Parrish. The Roxanne Sue Curtis Bowen Memorial Award, dedicated in memory of Roxanne, a valuable member of the 1982 Division IV State Championship softball team. Given to the basketball, baseball, softball player who displays intense dedication to one or more of these sports. Player through desire and hard work strives to reach his or her full potential, and in doing so, encourages her teammates to do the same. This year's recipient, Jessica Chase.
Hal Wilson. Hal Wilson was a 2006 graduate of Rochester High School. Hal played soccer, basketball, and baseball, and was a key member of the 2004 Baseball State Championship team. Hal was a hard worker, and he loved sports. In his memory, this award goes to the senior who loves sports in the same spirit that Kyle did. I'm glad to give this award to Jay Benson.
I've chosen to give this award based on scholarship, performance, and what she intends to do after she graduates. The award is for Jessica Chase.
Ladies and gentlemen, and graduating class of 2014, if I could say a quick thing about the Newton Hunter Lions Club, we're a small group of people that try to do things for the community. You meet every first Tuesday at Pearsall at 7 o'clock, if anybody would like to come. Usually at this time of year, all my friends that are in the Lions Club turn into farmers and have to get up early in the morning and can't go there to do graduation. So I get to do it, and I enjoy it. This year I had 2 people for a scholarship for $500. John Benson. And Jessica Chase.
To present the first Lakeside Bank Citizenship Award at Rochester High School. This $500 award is given to the student who shows exemplary scholastic and community contributions during their tenure at Rochester High School. This year's recipient is Jessica Chase.
It's a real pleasure to have been asked by the Select Board to make this award this morning. As I've done in several years past, it's also a great blessing to be able to have the graduation on this fine park between our Civil War monument, which we're very proud of, and the American flag that a lot of Rochester people have dedicated their lives to, and so forth. And I just think that as far as Mrs. Kirkpatrick is concerned, we all should know some of the things that she may have done, that she did do, I should say. She was a school teacher as a young woman, and hitchhiked into Rochester and found a place to stay at a farm, a bed and breakfast on the Wing Farm, now owned by the Lloyds on Maple Hill. It may be called Wing Farm Road, now part of it. But anyway, and it's ironical that the Wing Farm that she stayed at her early years here, summers that is, after teaching in Pennsylvania, that she that one of the wing descendant barrel wing also left a good award to the town of Rochester for the betterment of education. But Mrs. Kirkpatrick had did so much here in the valley, and we would not have had an auditorium at our new high school had it not been for Dean Martin on the school board approaching her about the fact there's going to be a multi-purpose room that was a lot cheaper, that it was going to cost a lot more money for an auditorium. Mrs. Kirkpatrick thought we needed an auditorium, and that did happen, and that's what we enjoy today, even though, I shouldn't say today, but now in our school. But we're so fortunate. That was a backup plan to use the auditorium had we not been able to be on this wonderful park. But anyway, we need to remember the fact that Mrs. Kirkpatrick did so many things for so many graduating seniors and so forth in their further education, ending up being some of those people, and I could name them personally, probably 10 or a dozen, that have excelled in their profession as a help from Mrs. Kirkpatrick that had strict guidelines for that award, and that is they were to refrain from alcohol and tobacco during their college years. And some of these seniors could not qualify, and they sent the contribution back to Mrs. Kirkpatrick. And I have great respect for that. But this year's award goes to Eli Macker.
I was just sitting here thinking, when I left Rochester School, this was the second grade. You're all a lot taller. Congratulations. It's been a long road. So the first award here is the Intertraditions Go For It Award, which is presented to the graduating senior who leaves the Rochester High School with the clearest and strongest vision of his or her future. In Intertraditions, we often speak of our mission as being able to seed a new dream for humanity through the ideas we publish. We believe that to make your own future, you first have to imagine your future, and then you have to define it. Only when you have a clear vision can you effectively achieve your goals. So what we do is we ask the candidates for this award to write an essay about their goals for the future, their vision, and how they think they're going to achieve it to make these dreams a reality. This year we had 8 seniors who wrote essays. They were all really, really good. It was a tough decision to get through them all. For a while there, they were all #1, but it sort of didn't work. So there was one that really got our attention. So on behalf of the entire staff of Intertraditions, I wish each and every one of you graduating seniors our very best, and encourage you all to remember, as you leave the high school today, that to attain reality, you have to have dreams. We're very pleased to award this year's Go For It award of $100 in cash to Eli Macker. This year we're lucky to have 3 firefighters who are in high school. Only one of them is graduating, so it gives the Rochester Fire Department great pleasure to award this year's award to graduating senior Derek Gendron.
Please welcome Mr. Bruce Ruelling with the Rodney Johnson Memorial Scholarship.
Good morning, everyone. Nice to see that the sun broke out here, at least for the end of the ceremony. It's always nice when it can be here in the park instead of inside. This really represents Rochester. And I'm pleased to be here on behalf of the members of Row Lodge number 29. First of all, I'd like to congratulate all the graduates over there for a job well done. You've reached one of the milestones in your life. Masons throughout the state of Vermont contribute to the Grand Lodge Scholarship Fund. And these funds are used to match the funds raised by the local lodges. Last year, Masons throughout the state of Vermont awarded almost $28,000 worth of scholarship aid. And with the matching grant, Rural Lodge is able to give 2 $500 scholarships. And since we established our scholarship in 1996, we awarded $16,000 worth of scholarships to 32 students. I think that's a pretty good accomplishment. The recipients of this year's Rodney L. Johnson Scholarship are Jessica Chase and Eli Matthews. Thank you.
On behalf of the Upper Valley Teachers Association, I am pleased to present a monetary award to the student who evokes many fond memories from all of his teachers. Devin Bean.
The answer is not always clear a student to choose, and I had a difficult time this year. I actually found a copy. A teacher and a coach had spoke about singing at his funeral, and I'll just do a short paragraph. When Timmy was a sophomore, he received the Most Valuable Player Award at a basketball tournament. He cried, he was so proud, but even in winning the award, he wanted each and every player on the team to share in the honor. He told the coach that there would be a championship team, and never did a young man work so hard to make that dream come true. Timmy was never negative to a teammate, but was constantly encouraging them, even when the odds were greatly against them. So the answer is now clear. Stephen Parrish.
In honor of my mother, Millie Bushnell, who spent the last 10 years of her life living in this community. She loved it here, she loved the people here, and she was particularly fond of the students that my wife brought home. This award goes to, she was very fond of higher education, particularly for women, and this award goes a one-time check for $660 to Jessica Chase.
Cash Award, Ari Finelli.
And the 2014 Cash Award to Trevor Mears.
Kyle Joseph Lazat Award, Jay Benson.
The Village School Award. This award was established to provide an award to a student who attended the village school in his or her elementary years prior to exposure in 2009. There are two recipients. One, unfortunately, is not here today, and that is Ben Brown, and the other is Miss Shania James. Union Scholarship Program was established to provide financial assistance each year to one Wickham and one Rochester High School graduating student. This student must be pursuing an undergraduate education. The Education Committee of the credit union and the guidance counselors from each school review the candidates. Selection of the recipients is based on character, academic performance, extracurricular activities, community involvement, and financial need. The student must also be a member of the White River Credit Union, and the recipient, Jessica Chase. Was created in 1965 by the Vermont State Legislature to recognize academic achievement among Vermont's graduating high school seniors. One student is chosen from each eligible high school enrolling Vermont students. That goes to Haven Parish.
The Wing Scholarships have 3 recipients. Jessica Chase,
The John Baker Memorial Scholarship is awarded annually to a graduating senior who has demonstrated both a strong work ethic and the ability to achieve excellence in his or her studies. The student must have been accepted at an accredited 2- or 4-year college or university and have plans to enroll in the fall. And the recipient is Jay Benson.
the Route 100 Snow Traveler Scholarship is given to Aaron Kelly.
The Bethel Area Rotary Club will be awarding 2 scholarships to 2 graduating seniors that will be going to a 2- or 4-year college. This scholarship rotates every 3 years with Bethel and South Wales. There are 2 recipients, and they are Jay Benson and Eli Matrick.
Vermont State College's tuition waiver for all 4 years of college, and both plan to attend Castleton State College in the fall. Our recipients, Haven Parish and Jessica Chase.
In 2014, would like to do something a little different this year for our class gift. We thought it would be fun to treat the whole school, students and faculty, to creamies at the skip mark. The remaining balance of our account will be donated to the Alumni Association. Thank you. I'd like to welcome Aaron Kelly.
Good morning, friends, family, and community members. Yesterday was Friday the 13th and a full moon. Quite unusual, and perhaps equally unusual, is a graduating senior introducing her mother as the keynote speaker at graduation. Last week at Baccalaureate, I shared I'm from a mother and father who have taught me to be happy and to love with every bit of my soul. And they have. I'm honored to present my amazing mom, who I love dearly. Hello, everyone.
everyone. When this year's graduating class asked me to be their speaker, my first thought was, why me? So I started thinking about the reasons. Maybe it's because I've known most of them their whole lives. I know their parents. In fact, I went to school with many of them. I know their grandparents. I know where they live, what they like to do. And I know about most of the major events that have happened to them in their lives. Maybe it's because I've chaperoned nearly every field trip they've ever been on. Remember the longest bus ride in history to Plymouth Plantation? Or the overnight trip to Boston Museum of Science where we slept on the floor? Maybe it's because I've been their substitute teacher for the last couple of years, and I enjoy telling them stories of when I went to this school, stories of decorating the gym for the prom, special week, and Wednesday afternoon phys ed. Maybe it's because the way I love that teachers tend to stay here for a long time, and we all have memories of time spent with the same people. When my brother and I were kids, one of our favorite babysitters was Faye Severy. She was born to be a teacher. She played board games with us, taught me how to shuffle cards, and do cartwheels in the kitchen. I'm thankful that both of my kids were fortunate enough to have her teach them. Two of my favorite teachers were Dick and Mary Ann Schultz. Both of them still work at school, and I love that they've helped mold so many kids in this valley, as they did with me. Java was the high school secretary when I was in school, and she's still here at the elementary school. All of the kids love her. We were very close back then, and she's still one of my best friends today. Or maybe it's because I know so much about these kids. For instance, I know that Travis is a fiercely loyal friend and was always the first one to fall asleep on the bus on the way back from field trips. I know that I met Devin on the day he was born, and he is and was one of the sweetest people I've ever met. I know Jay is always ready to have fun and be funny. I know that Jessica is a delightful mix of a girly girl and a tomboy. I know that Ben's passion for dirt bikes is the reason he isn't here today. I know that Ari is an amazing artist and has a very special relationship with her mom. I know that Derek has a great love of his country and is proud that he'll be serving in the U.S. Army. I know that Shania is an animal lover and enjoys her life on her parents' little farm. I know that Aaron is always ready to stick up for the underdog and will help any animal in need. I know that Eli joined the class just this year and has jumped into RHS life with both feet and had a great time. I know that Trevor is one of the hardest young working men around. I know that Paven's dedication to his sport is unparalleled and his kindness to everyone is unmatched. I know that Eric has known that he wanted to join the Coast Guard even as a young boy. And I know that Mark, who appears very quiet and unassuming, has a wickedly dry sense of humor. Or maybe the reason they asked me to speak is because back in 2011, when these graduates were in 9th grade, 3 major events happened in my life. First, I found out that Oatmeal Studios, where I had worked for 26 years, was being sold, moving out of state, and I would need to look for a new job. 6 weeks after that, on my daughter's 15th birthday, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. 5 months later, Irene devastated our town. Maybe these graduates want to know how I dealt with these events. I can tell you in 3 words: family, friends, and community. So first, about my family. I have the best parents ever. For those of you that know my dad, you know he's the typical Vermonter and has a saying for almost any occasion. Although I can't repeat most of them here. One that has always stuck with me is, sometimes you eat the bear, sometimes the bear eats you. Well, in my opinion, this pretty much sums up every situation in life. On the other hand, my mom, who is slightly more reserved than my dad, her favorite saying to me has always been, "This too shall pass." And you know what? She's been right every single time she said it to me. My husband and my kids saw me during some pretty difficult days and took wonderful care of me. I'm truly blessed. I know that all of you are very close with your families. Lean on them when you need to, and be there for them when they need you. Friends. Many of my best friends who helped me through hard times have been with me since we were very young, and we all graduated together in 1983. Christy Fuller, Penny Parrish, Andy West, and Sean Kewen all chose to stay in this valley and raise their families. I love that we all see each other so often and still enjoy spending time together. I can always count on them. The friends you've made at Rochester, and especially your classmates, will continue to be important in your lives. Because of the size of our school, and that you are always with the same people every day, you learn to compromise, to listen to each other, and be there during difficult times. Believe me when I say that the fact that your class has 14 graduates will be a topic of conversation for the rest of your life. People are always amazed when I tell them that there were 23 people in my class. I know where every single one of them is today. Not many people can say that. As Kenny Rogers once said, you can't make old friends. And third, my community. First of all, look around. What a beautiful place this is. We're so lucky to live here. When I was going through my treatments, people who I only knew in passing would ask me, "How are you doing?" So many people asked how they could help. And I remember my mom saying, "Let them help. It makes people feel good when they can help." So that's what I did. The same need to help occurred in our valley after Irene. These kids stepped up to help their community in any way they could. Whether it was to muck out a basement, clean up damage to the high school, or lend an ear to a friend who had lost their home, they helped. And in doing so, they helped themselves. You all have the same supports as I do. You come from close-knit communities, you have wonderful families and devoted friends. It's up to you to know how and when to call on them. Every one of you will deal with adversity in your life. Some of you already have. Whether it be a move to another place, a death of someone close to you, or a serious illness, you may wonder how you're going to get through. I'm here to tell you that you can and you will. Whether you know it or not, you have all helped me. When I was about to have my surgery, Aaron brought me a huge card that practically everyone in the school signed with words of encouragement. Also, when you chose to dedicate your yearbook to me, to Betty Chase, and to Carrie Gilbert, who also happen to be moms of graduates today and are fellow warriors in the fight against breast cancer, it touched all three of us very deeply. It goes to show that you understand how important family is, and thank you for that. There were many days that I was down and really sick, and you may find yourself in a similar situation and wonder how you're going to get through it. I'm here to tell you, you can and you will. It's about asking for help when you need it. I didn't like asking for help. I'm used to taking care of things myself. I was the helper, not the one who needed something. It was very hard for me to accept, but doing so profoundly changed how I looked at my life. I appreciate my family and friends so much more. I don't sweat the small stuff. I take joy in simple things. I learned that I shouldn't wait to do something I want to do. Now I just do it. I didn't survive cancer to be afraid to try new things. As your generation is fond of saying, YOLO. You only live once. I know you will make the most of your life because you have everything it takes. You, like me, are now a graduate of Rochester High School. As I was finishing writing this speech, it dawned on me that maybe the reason you wanted me to speak today was to help me out one more time. Because I've been so focused on this, I haven't had much time to think about how much I'm going to miss you all. And for that, I simply say thank you. Best of luck, graduates.
certificates and the diplomas mean nothing until I certify them. And as I was sitting over here, I was wondering, I really enjoyed listening to Paven. I'm not so sure about Barb's dissertation. That's an awful long Barb. But it was wonderful. And getting back to Paven, you're just lucky that you didn't play against the class of 1966 Proctor High School. Tremendous achievements, academia and athletics. What a class. Not only did they grow bigger since I first met them 7 years ago, but they are handsome young people. Would you agree? And then I look at where they're going, and we have, like Derek's going to the United States Army. That's a good place. Have you notified the Army yet that you're coming? And has the Army notified Afghanistan? And what tremendous achievements and accomplishments. Wherever you are going, best of luck. So, ladies and gentlemen, Principal Knight has assured me that the students presented today have achieved with success all required coursework by Rochester High School. Therefore, as Superintendent of Schools, I hereby certify the class of 2014 as graduates.
Travis Ainsworth. Devin Bean. John Vincent. Jessica Chase. Claire Finelli. Derek Gendron. Shania Jakes. Aaron Kelly. Eli Matson. Trevor Mears. Haven Parish. Eric Schnabel. Mark Waite. And Ben Crown is not here today, but let's go ahead and give him a At this time, I would like to ask the seniors to please rise and present your rose to someone in the audience whom you feel has been your biggest support in ensuring that you would be here with us today. From the left to the right. By the power vested in me as the principal of Rochester School, by the state of Vermont and the Rochester School Board, I declare you graduates of the class of 2014.